What's up, guys? And your girl Gigi is back. We got another episode of Daily Squeeze today. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys, and there's definitely a couple of things that have just been setting the internet ablaze. So you know what it means when I grab this little red cup right here. That means we got some juice to talk about, okay? Some juicy gossip to get into. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can join the fam. And then sit back, grab your cup, and take a sip so we can get to the details of this story, okay? So let's get into it, y'all. Ooh, y'all know I got the Minute Maid today. Minute Maid be rocking in my cup all the time. It's not strawberry lemonade. It's berry punch flavor, but it'll do. It's just going to have to suffice for today. Anyways, y'all, so let's get into the details of the topics we got today. I kind of want to go back a little bit and talk about a couple of things that I didn't really get a chance to when they first came out, and then we'll get into the more recent stories. So first up, let's talk about T.I and Tiny, you know, overall as a whole and what they had to deal with on Red Table Talk. So Tiny, I feel bad for you now, Tiny. Like, watching T.I on Red Table Talk just made me, realize, oh, he ain't this, he just is a fraud to me now. I really was a fan of T.I. I used to think, he was so smart and, you know, knew so much shit, and he was just so educated. You know, he was hood smart. I used to think so highly of him, and now I don't. Obviously, because of the Deja situation, if y'all don't remember, he was taking his daughter to the OBGYN to make sure she was still a virgin, but that's so dumb, because what if she wasn't? What was going to happen then? Were you going to kick her out the house? What was it? Instead of having a conversation with your daughter about what to do when you are ready to have sex, or the type of man you should be wanting to have sex with or deserves to have sex with you, you're almost punishing her in a way. He even talked about how it was she'll be defiled and all this type of stuff. So your son can go out and defile other people's daughters, but your daughter can't be a part of the whole situation. That's just so ass backwards. And I get it, you trying to protect her from niggas like you, for example. But unfortunately, it's life, and she's gonna run into those dudes, and those are gonna be the dudes who teach her the lessons. Unfortunately, you know, when you go through these life things, and you're just gonna have to accept it. I understand how hard it is as a dad to accept that your daughter is out there being sexually active, but instead of taking her to the OBGYN to make sure she is still not having sex, how about you just have a conversation with her? That's unfortunately what happens in the Black community. We just turn it to oh, she's an adult when you, people are thinking or I think that's what he said. It was oh, you're an adult when you have sex and all that type of stuff. But it's not true. We don't want our kids out there having sex when they're young, obviously, but it doesn't make them adult. They view it as an adult action, oh, now you want to be grown out there doing grown stuff. That's how Black people, that's how you grow up, because that's all I heard as a teenager. I would go out and hang on with my friends, and the first thing my mom would be saying is oh, don't be out there feeling yourself, out there getting grown, doing grown folk stuff. And I'd be huh? I'd be what the heck? And I would know what she was talking about, but I wasn't doing any of those things. So it was almost like I was getting punished for stuff that I wasn't even doing. So Deja, in that aspect, I feel bad, but I want to move on to the second part, which was T.I and Tiny, kind of talking more about the relationship. They had a full-on blown Dr. Phil session on there with Jada, and they started talking about obviously them being married, and Tiny sticking through with him through all the BS, him going through jail, and how, you know, over time she changed to be a person that he wasn't expecting. So, you know, T.I went to jail twice. And, you know, after the first time, Tiny said she wanted to marry him. And, you know, we have this thing where, as women, it's if we stick through a man, through all the BS, through all the hard stuff, it's going to be rewarding to be, you know, one day to be able to marry him, because I stuck through it. I went through all that pain with that man. Almost like how we see, what's that movie, Why Did I Get Married? Where Angela was I'm not letting the girl take Marcus after all that hard work I did putting into that man. That's how we view it. We almost view it as if I'm not letting him go because I went through all this. I'll be damned if another woman reaped the benefits of my work in this man. But we need to quit viewing it that way, because it's not benefiting us. We're getting hurt in the process. I have to stick through you cheating on me, you treating me disrespectfully, manipulating me, all for one day for you just to click, for it to click all of a sudden one day, and that's just going to be so rewarding, where I can look back and be like, man, I went through all that shit with you, and now we finally got there to the finish line, to the end. We're married, and you finally get it. Like, that is just so, like, ass backwards, I think. And, like, the logic is kind of changing now, because growing up as, like, that was the original narrative. Very traditional to think, like, oh, you stick with your man through no matter what, especially when you have a family. Like, you stick with him and you make your family work no matter what. But, like, what about him actually doing the right stuff to make you want to stay around? What about, you know, the man not cheating and, like, all that type of stuff? Like, why is it the woman's duty to stick with, you know, a man? Even though I'm not saying, like, you know, men don't stick with women, like, through their mess ups, but it's just like, in society, it's like, oh, the woman's supposed to make the family work no matter what and hold the household down even when her nigga messed up. Like, that, I don't like that logic. But nonetheless, you know, Tiny was talking about how, like, you know, T.I had to get an adjustment period when he came home, and he realized Tiny was not the same woman that she, you know, was when he went in. You know, Tiny found her voice. She didn't realize, you know, T.I had to always be the one doing everything and the main breadwinner and all that type of stuff. And me being a person who watched the family hustle, you know, we probably saw T.I as like, oh, you know, it's real nice, he's assertive, he's, you know, the alpha male. And to women, that is attractive. It is very attractive to see a man who can take charge, who's assertive, who can handle things. But then down the line, that assertiveness starts turning into control and manipulation to fit his wants and needs. And it no longer is attractive. Like, at one point when he was talking, Tiny even looked at him like, I can't believe I put up with this shit for this nigga. Like, really? Like, dang, Tiny, you could just tell she was just going back through all the stuff she went through with this man, you know, to just be like, all my life I had to fight. Like, that's literally how she was looking at him. And Tiny girl, at this point, I would tell you run, because this man is no good. He's so egotistical, narcissistic. I knew he wasn't going to change his mind when it came to the Deja stuff, because he doesn't think he's wrong. And when it comes to y'all's marriage, like he said, he was like, I had to have an adjustment period, because, you know, the Tiny that I experienced when I got out, you know, she found she was talking back more. Like, she was, you know, definitely a lot more combative. Like, when it came to him saying stuff, you know, before, when T.I said something, it just automatically went. Now, all of a sudden, you know, Tiny is, you know, contradicting what he's saying and actually asking questions and demanding more from him. And unfortunately, that turned to what he said was, you know, I had to find a person who made me feel better, which led to some things, aka he stuck his dick in another woman, and, you know, to make himself feel better. And we often know that men go out and find a woman who fills their ego up because their wife at home challenges them, and they don't like that. So to watch T.I the way he talks now, it's like, I'm just like so turned off from him now. I used to think, oh, he was the smartest and everything. Now I realize, oh, you were just hood smart. Basically, you was the smartest nigga in your jail block, and everything, you know, you said in there went, and they didn't contradict you in there, or like, you know, go against you in there. So you came out to the real world and felt like you can do all that facade, say all these big words, and everybody else in the real world would buy the shit too. And it ain't worked that way. Yeah, T.I, ooh, you need Jesus, okay? And Jada and her mama, they was trying to get T.I, like, they was trying to pull it out of him to get the right stuff, but he just is who he is. Unfortunately, he's at that age too, where it's like, you can't teach old dogs new tricks. So at this point, Tiny, you might want to think about exit strategy, because this is not the man that somebody should stay married to, because he just thinks he's almighty, and that's it. So speaking of, you know, couples, let's move on to Cardi B and Offset. If you haven't noticed, they're going through a little scandal right now on the internet, because Cardi B has to defend Offset because he was quote unquote hacked on his IG and Instagram. Now, Offset, I want to believe you. I really do. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. But obviously, your history, nigga, don't allow us to do that. And as a true fan of Cardi, as I'm sure a lot of people are, we are looking at you with our good eye, because we don't want it to be like, dang, you really done effed up again after we done gave you the second chance, after Cardi done gave you a second chance. You know, he went on stage, did that whole flower show escapade, you know, won her back. She, you know, got her pregnant, impregnated her, locked her down, and finally she gave in and, allowed Offset to try and make it right. So now they got the little cute family, and, Cardi let her walls down again, and here this shit goes. And we want to give you the benefit of the doubt, but common sense for a lot of us is just saying, bruh, you really was not this dumb. First of all, the girl you hit up was Jade, of all people. Now, if you don't know, Jade is Tekashi 6ix9ine, that ugly rainbow nigga, his baby mama, girlfriend, whatever. She's so stupid. She even got his face tattooed on her shoulder. Like, girl, that's on you for the rest of your life. And that nigga ain't even worth it. But he hit up Jade. Now, Jade has a history with Cardi anyways, because Cardi had to sick her goons on her in the damn club because she was brushing up a little too close to Offset. If you guys don't remember the whole situation, I think like an ice bucket was thrown with a whole situation, and I think it got dismissed in court if I'm not mistaken. But, Offset, if you were to message a girl, Jade is the wrong one. But we see that Cardi got on the internet, was just kind of talking like, oh, we woke up, that's why I'm looking rough. All of us are sick, and we see he was hacked, we just got to deal with all this. And it's like, I know y'all don't want to believe it. We know he did some trash stuff, right? We know you did some trash stuff. And she's looking up at Offset, and he's just quiet. And to me, I'm more bothered that Offset ain't the one on the internet right now talking about, nah, y'all not getting ready to make this story up. I would never cheat on my wife. I learned my lesson the first time. Like, after really trying to defend himself. But the fact that you're so quiet is starting to make me, feel a little antsy, like as if you might have really did this, Offset, because, the fact that your IG and the timing of the Twitter being hacked and stuff, like, it's just a little suspect, unfortunately. And, Cardi could just be, putting on face. She could be just, like, trying to make it seem to the public like I'm standing by my man, but behind scenes getting in that nigga ass, which I hope she is. I'm sure Cardi asked at first, gave him the opportunity to be like, look, this is the time for you to tell me, like, if this is true or not before I go go public and make myself look stupid for you. Like, tell me now. Like, I'm really hoping she did that. I'm not down she did, but, for her just hoping not to go through that pain again, I'm sure she's trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But unfortunately, Jade is talking about she got some more stuff in her little repertoire, her little receipts dungeon or something. She's talking about she got way more stuff on Offset. And if she do, my brother, I'm praying for you, because Cardi might cut your dick off in the middle of the night if that shit is true. Cause, Jade of all people, like, bruh, some niggas, they just that dumb. We all know, Jade is kind of like the industry, homie hopper. A lot of niggas been getting in her. So, like, I guess that's just kind of what happens. Like, all these rappers know which girls to go to because they're just, the ones that are there for them. And unfortunately, Jade has become one of them people. Offset, for your sake and for your health, because Cardi crazy. She might poison your ass for sure if this is real. I'm just gonna pray for him for Cardi's sake. I really hope this isn't true, but my gut feeling is telling me like there might be some validity to this. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out, if Jay does have some other receipts that she's gonna pop out on that ass. So y'all, let's get to the last story, because this last story honestly is what is just having the internet super crazy. Let's talk about Bhad Bhabie, because she recently went and got some box braids done. And of course, sometimes as black folks, we see white people get a quote-unquote black hairstyle, and we get super pissed off about it. And like, y'all might not like me after this, but guess what? It's my opinion. I don't care. It's my First Amendment right. But this argument to me, like, is so overdone. I'm over it. The argument is stupid. Like, when white people wear black hairstyles, it doesn't mean they're trying to be black. It does not mean they want to be black. There is a such thing as looking at another culture and appreciating what they have. And now we sit here and we want to say that black, Bhad Bhabie kind of got famous over acting black and stealing the black style and cultural appropriation. And it's like, why is it when we see white people act out, we equate that to black behavior? Like, we equate, her, talking out of line, cussing, disrespecting folks, like her being black. Like, I have a problem with that, because black people ain't always that. Like, why is it a negative connotation for white people is what black people are? Like, and then we would be like, oh, that's how white people act, and then we get called ghetto for it. Well, if we getting called ghetto for it, then why are they not ghetto for it? Like, y'all want to sit there and be like, oh, you get a pat on the back because that's you, like you know you're acting black and stuff like that. Like, that is confusing to me. But nonetheless, back on the hair conversation, I'm annoyed with it because this is something that has been in the works for a long time. The oppression of black people, and then besides the hair stuff, but just what we have to deal with, that is something that has been history in the making. And unfortunately, even though we keep beating out white people now, that's not Bhad Bhabie's fault. What we got to go through as black people, as black women who got to change our hairstyles to be quote unquote more professional, or to make it, you know, seem like we're not, you know, super ghetto and stuff like that. Like, first of all, I'm more pissed off that the way the braids look in the first place. Like, if you gonna get them, make them get done the right way. Whoever did your braids effed all the way up. They was not cute. I'm sorry. Like, if anything, if you gonna try and, you know, appropriate my culture, at least do it the right way, damn it. Like, that's how I'm feeling. But this whole argument is like, she even went on the internet and she did this whole thing on Instagram. Y'all take a look at it.
This is the last time that I'm addressing this because it's getting real ignorant and real stupid, and I don't like my words getting twisted, so I'm gonna just make a video so you can get exactly what I'm trying to say. So, my comment was made towards the black women who had something to say about my hair. Like I said, to the black women who are saying my hair ain't meant for box braids, that's what I said. I didn't say to the whole black community, I just said back to them what they said to me. I said to all the people saying I'm trying to be black for wearing my hair in braids, well then you must be trying to be white for wearing your hair straight. That don't make sense, huh? So why you can say it to me, but when I say the exact thing back to you, I can't say that. I ain't no fucking racist.
So yeah, basically what she was just trying to say was, it's like, all you black women coming at me, it's like, y'all wear all this stuff in y'all's hair. As a white person, I'm not coming at y'all saying like, ooh, look, that's my stuff. Like, y'all are taking it. And I kind of feel a way about that too. Besides the professional part of it and like the school part, we understand black kids get kicked out for dreads, or, you know, black girls don't get hired because they got, you know, cornrows in their hair, or like they wear their hair in a natural texture. Like, besides that part, black women who are out there wearing blonde weaves, like, that's not your natural hair. That's obviously something of white culture, but white people ain't coming at us like, oh, there you are, appropriating white culture. Like, how come you ain't giving us our credit? Like, they're not doing that. Like, every time a white person wears black hair, are they supposed to be like, hey, by the way, black people, I love you. I want to wear your hairstyle. Just want to let you know, like, I appreciate you. Let me wear your braids. Like, that sounds, first of all, extra as AF, because regardless if she wear these box braids or not, somebody across the, you know, the U.S. is still gonna have to deal with their you know, career being a whole because of their hairstyle, and that's not Bhad Bhabie's fault. That's not really her fight. Even though as black people we're looking for white people to like understand our struggle, they never will, because it's not their life. So we can't be putting that battle on them, because regardless of white people being in it or not, our battle is always going to continue, and the battle is going to be fine without them. And like, Bhad Bhabie, I don't really fuck with you like that, but I'm not going to sit there and, you know, say you deserve this beating you're getting over some stupid ass box braids. Like, of all the things black people got to deal with in this country, Bhad Bhabie in this hairstyle, or a white person wearing dreads, or a white person wearing like braids or something like that, like, that is like the least of all the concern that black people got to deal with in this country. Like, we're literally getting shot out there for no reason, and we were sitting here worried about braids on Bhad Bhabie. Like, seriously, miss me with that, bruh. Like, I just wish sometimes, like, black people, we weren't so sensitive about certain things. Like, every time we don't have to make a statement, like, when something is done, or when a white person does something, and look at them like, oh, cultural appropriation. Like, you don't understand your privilege. Like, they're not going to understand it because they don't live the black life. So we're not supposed to point it out to them, because regardless if we point it out to them or not, it doesn't change the privilege that they have. So yes, Bhad Bhabie can wear these braids and not looked at like she is ghetto. But guess what? that doesn't change our struggle that we have to deal with, and like that's gonna be our fight to deal with. That's not Bhad Bhabie's problem. We keep punishing like white people now in today's culture for things that have been set up in history way long before them. So nonetheless, that's the rant on that, and that's what's going on the internet. So y'all drop down in the comments, tell me what you think about everything I discussed today. That was been this episode of Daily Squeeze. I gotta get off because I'm gonna lose my mind talking about damn Bhad Bhabie again. That bitch is always in the damn internet. So I'm gonna go. Y'all, like I said, drop down in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Deuces.